All right, guys, we got another good one for you today. Oldie but a goodie. The Walther Q5 Match steel frame. This is the Pro Edition. This is not brand new. It was like new in the box. I believe they said they put one mag through it. Hell of a deal that I got on it. It was one of the ones that I was actually looking into purchasing before I got the Canik Rival, because the Canik Rival was almost half the price when these were, I think these were like $1,900, and I got a heck of a deal on this one. Didn't have any barrel rubbing markings or anything. One mag had a little bit of carbon. The other two mags were clean as, like, you can tell it was brand new. No scuff marks, no scratches, no anything. But I was really excited to find the deal on this one. Tiny Tactical is also actually the one that encouraged me to buy it. We went to a gun show, and I didn't go wanting to spend anything on a gun, but ended up getting this for a great deal. So let's get into it. Again, I do believe this is the Pro Edition. That's at least what the box is. All right, so let's see what everything comes with. And I think some of this stuff, I don't know if it's part of the Pro Edition, which I'll go ahead and correct later on some graphic or something, or if the guy that bought it or woman, whoever had it, added some stuff to it. But I think because it's the Pro, it does have some extra features. So right away, I think we've noticed it comes with 3 mags and comes with +2 extensions already out of the gate. Here's the 3rd mag. We can see we got our chamber flag. Before I get into everything, I'm just kind of going over what's in the box. So 3 magazines. Of course, the pistol. Most guns come with a speed loader. This one has 3 different optic plates. I haven't done enough research to know which ones are which. These are just labeled MB2, MB1, and MB4. I'm not super familiar with just looking at the cuts, but I do believe that this one may be the Trigicon, the RMR, I believe. This one here. So we'll find out. I'll probably maybe put that information what the MB1, MB2, and MB4 are. So it has those. Those were with the pistol. Looks like you get your little sight key, a couple extra screws for the optic, a couple Allen keys there. Of course, your handy dandy lock. All right, wouldn't be a gun without a lock. Have our, if I can get it out here. There it goes. You have our manual. Our Q5 Match steel frame pistol. Kind of wish it was the blue edition, other than the blue trigger. The Magwell is not blue or anything, but that's okay. And then this is kind of cool. This is just showing you that it was tested out of the factory, so you can tell that this was. I mean, yeah, you know, nobody's gonna use this, but it looked like it was still pretty clean, pretty fresh, creased. So we got 5-shot group right here. 3 nice little tight ones here, probably within an inch and a quarter. And it looks like this was shot out there in Germany. I'm assuming that's the name, the stamp 25 meters, which is about 26 yards, maybe 27 yards. Shows you that it was functioning properly, all that good stuff. So that's what comes with the box here. Let's go ahead and move some stuff out of the way, and let's see what we got. And let's get into it. I'm excited for this one. So the reason why I'm excited is if you guys been following the channel, I got my little Fat Tactical stickers now. Looks all professional. All right, let's put that like that. Let's do some promotion, right? If you've been following the channel, you've seen that I have been entering competitions. I just did my 2nd outdoor one this past weekend, the 1st weekend of April. In case anybody's watching this in the future, like Back to the Future. I'm living in the future and in the past or something like that. But I was excited because I just started competitions, and if you've also been following some of my videos, I've been having issues with my Canik Rival steel. So I was excited about this because, again, 5-inch barrel, all steel, just like the Canik. All right, people say they're cousins. So let's talk about these mags real quick before we get into the gun. Let's get some of the small stuff out of the way. So this one did come with 3 magazines. 3 15-rounders, but again, this is the Pro Edition, so this came with the +2s, and these are Walther mag extensions. So these aren't like a MBX or a Taylor Freelance or anything like that, which you can tell from the look, right? These are small profile, but these are +2 mags, so I like that it went to 17-round magazines. And funny thing about these mags, we'll talk about them in a little bit later. And I believe, I'm not sure if these also came with the Pro Edition, or if somebody just got these and added them on, but there's like no scuffs, no wear marks at all. So I'm going to assume this came with the Pro Edition. So again, I'll probably post it up here what which plates these are. I'm not super familiar with the print. I know one of these two, these kind of look like RMR to me, just different height, different different spacings on these meters on these holes here. And I think they said one of them's a Delta Point Pro and then the Leopold one. I'm just not super familiar with those patterns, but came with the 3 plates. That's pretty awesome. I'm usually an RMR kind of guy because of the Hollow Sun 507 comp, and now because of the Sealy. And I do have a new optic coming in the mail from Gideon Optics. Kind of looks like an SRO, big circular window. I can't wait to try that out. Maybe stuff that on this bad boy. But let's go ahead and get into this. Let's make sure we save. You guys can see we have the chamber flag there. Nothing in the barrel, nothing in the chamber. Empty mag here. Let's drop our slide, pull our trigger. All right, so let's first talk about the slide. Right, it's an all steel frame. I love the lightning cuts along the slide. It does kind of give me the feel of like the Canik rival, and I'm gonna make a lot of comparisons to the Canik. I'm sorry if that's gonna bug you guys, but for me, that's the reason why I got this one. One thing I noticed right away, these are kind of semi-rounded off, so they don't feel so jagged or so stiff, kind of like the Canik. So I am able to just kind of grab without even worrying about that. On the Canik, it's a little rough on the Chrome Edition anyway. I haven't held the dark side or racked it or anything, so I'm not sure. All steel. I love this. It's a full-size 5-inch barrel. Love these cuts. I got your stenciling, your model number and the company Walther and Q5 match SF. The back serrations are a little, considering how aggressive these are, I'm a little disappointed. These are kind of almost flush. You can grab it. I mean, you're used to pistols. I mean, it's not a big deal, but I would have liked those to see those just a little bit more aggressive. So I'll probably zoom in here and you can see it's almost flush at the back of the pistol. But you can still grab it. I just wish they were a little bit deeper. But these here in the front are just, I mean, other than it looks awesome, but they do provide some of those weight reduction, right? Because it's already such a heavy gun, which will go ahead and put all the specs up there for you now, the weight and the width and the length overall and all that good stuff. And I'm just kind of mesmerized by it. So yeah, it comes with the fiber optic front, which I really like those. With my color blindness, it's kind of hard to pick up some of the colors. But I've now finally figured out fiber optic for me is the way to go. It's very vivid and bright, especially when you're dealing with these black rear sights. It's hard for me to pick up the one in the front, but I've noticed these fiber optics, if they're charged really well in daylight, I can pick them up really quick. This is the adjustable back rear sights here. There's your optic plate. So this is optic ready, obviously, with the 3 plates. Nice big slide stop here. I kind of like that. I like when they kind of protrude a little bit. It kind of serves as a little resting stop, or at least an index point to know, you know, kind of where you're at there. I really like that. And they are on both sides, which is a pretty good indication that your mag release is ambidextrous. You can move it left or right. So you guys weren't aware. I mean, not that I'm a pro. I learned this stuff probably a few months ago. If you see that slide catch on both sides, more than likely that means your mag release is ambidextrous. Nice little, it kind of pops out just a little bit. It's not super flush. I'm not a big fan of those flush takedown levers up front, kind of like the P320s. Also my well, it's the slide stop. It's not the takedown, but my CZ also, the slide stop is super flush. I need to have some kind of little leverage here, a little bit of it popped out just enough so I can kind of have some good index points. But this one is popped out just enough, and it has those ridges there, so when you get a good grip, you can kind of, you know, put your thumb on there. Good index point. It sticks out just enough to kind of help you there without buying an aftermarket gas pedal. So I do like that. Again, steel frame. You got your Picatinny rails here for your lights and lasers and all that good stuff. And what else can I talk about the slide? I think we're good on that. Yep, we got the ambidextrous mag release. I really do like the checkering on this, the pattern of these of the grip. I believe these are G10 grips. Many companies, you can buy different ones. There's a ton of aftermarket ones. I just found out this gun's been out for a few years. So there is a lot of aftermarket parts for that. So not a big deal. I love how deep this beaver tail goes in. I mean, it is super deep. You got like a nice little fin back here. So your hand with the weight of this gun, that recoil, that's going to help to, you know, kind of not drive it so high. With the shorter beaver tail, it'll, you know, catch more of the meat of the back of your hand and help with some of that rise a little bit. So when it's long like this and you got a good firm grip, it kind of, you know, leverage there just doesn't let it go up as much. So I like that it's really, really deep. And again, it's probably why you wouldn't want to carry that sucker. That's going to dig into your stomach if you're a bigger guy like me. I like that it's got the checkering up front. Here in front of the trigger guard, some nice checkering pattern right here in the front of the grip, so you can really get a good purchase and feel it there and bite down. It feels aggressive to the touch, but it's really soft. It's weird. It's soft to the hand, but you get a good grip. Like, I can feel it. It's not slippery like some. And of course, Walther's known for the little finger grooves here, which is one thing I've always liked about the Walthers. It kind of makes it look like a nice natural, right where you grab, your fingers are there, and you have a real slight little groove there that kind of goes right in between your fingers. So to me, it kind of helps with the natural position of your hand there and the natural feel of it. Then this one does come with the Magwell. One thing I did notice, when you got a good grip, and it's nothing that's wrong with the pistol, it's just something you got to get used to it. So this does kind of push your hand up for a bigger hand, so it makes you come up here on this little undercut here, really get high up on it, which is a good thing. But when you bring your support hand over, I kind of notice, see there, like I can feel the Magwell in the middle of the bottom of my palm. And it could be because, you know, fat tactical, fat hands, right? So it just felt a little weird, and I had to look to make sure my hand was actually high and I wasn't down low teacupping it for some reason. It just didn't feel, it felt different and new. So with a bigger Magwell, that may not be a problem, but I mean, you see with the review, it didn't affect it. I just had to get used to it. So just something I wanted to mention to you guys if that's gonna bother you. And you can see it from this side where I can feel that Magwell down here, and it just felt a little unnatural. Mag release was fine. I've heard some people say these were flush. And I've seen some videos and pictures of it, and it does not look like this one. So I don't know if this is part of the Pro Edition, because I did see they're extended, and it doesn't look like this either. So maybe I need to do a little bit more research. But I mean, I'm not coming off my grip much. I maybe moving my thumb forward, but I'm not having a switch grip like some guns. So I don't think I'll be needing to do any kind of extended mag release. This one works just fine, no problem. The Magwell, I wish it was a little bigger, but I don't see any issues with it. I think for me, it's just more aesthetics. I kind of like a slightly bigger. I've seen, I don't know if it's the Taylor Freelance or one of the other ones. I can't remember. I'll probably put the name up there if I remember to look for it later. It's like a gigantic funnel, and I'm not a big fan of those either. Those just look kind of crazy, like big old clown shoes at the bottom. But I wish this one was just a little bit thicker. Maybe because I'm still in the back of my mind thinking about this touching the bottom of my palm. But with the +2s, fits really nice and flush. No issue, again, with the mag release. It kind of has like a little groove in the middle there. Kind of bevels in and out. So that's pretty nice. So it's not a smooth, flat surface. Sometimes I'm trying to release really fast. I've noticed if it's a smooth mag release, my finger will kind of just slip right off. But this one, you get a little bit of a grip there. And it's, like I said, it's a minimal bevel to it in there. What else we got here? Our trigger. I'm not a fan, if you follow the channel, I'm not a fan of curved triggers. Just for the reason that my fat finger, now this has a big trigger guard, so it's not a big deal, but I just really like the flat triggers. I'm just a fan of them because you can really just get right in front of it. This one, if you kind of come to the side, you can see here, I'm not exaggerating grabbing the squeezing the trigger. Sometimes you're shooting fast, so there it caught. But if you come from the side, you may not engage that trigger safety well enough. And I've seen some people in competition talk about that, about this pistol. See here, like I'm kind of coming from an angle of the side a little bit, so you gotta really get in there. And I think the flat triggers just kind of help with that a lot. Let's take a look at that trigger. So there's a wall there, so not a lot of uptake, but there is a little bit of mush. So there's, I don't want to say it's a hard wall, but you know you're hitting the wall. And then you got some pressure there, and that's kind of as far as I would like for it to go. And it's got a little bit more, and then it goes off. Let's look at the reset. The reset's pretty nice. Click, not too bad. I've seen shorter. The Canik has a much shorter one, but I've seen worse. Right, this still can go forward more. But again, wall. All right, so there's that travel. It's a good amount. And then you get some mush there before it pulls, but not a horrible trigger. But for a match gun, I would have preferred it to have been a little bit tighter. But I know they sell an upgraded one, so that could have just been part of their marketing. Like, hey, come buy our upgraded. I think it's with the dynamic trigger or something like that, which I've heard and seen that it's always out of stock. So I may go with the Overwatch, which I'll be able to tell. I have the Overwatch here for my CZ that I've yet to install. So depending on how this feels on the CZ, I may go with the Overwatch for this one if I can't get that Walther one. Let's see what it says. The gauge. Try it again. I like to get a good average. I don't like doing all the math myself. So 4.6, so it's getting a little lighter. Yeah, I forget how to use it. I think I kept clearing it. So we got a 4.6, 4.10. 4.10 again, and let's just get one more. Oh, there we go. 4.12 for an average of 4.9. So not horrible, just a little bit of pre-travel, and then again that mush, and then I just don't like the curved trigger. All right, so the magic of editing back. So these are the Q5 mags, right? The 15 rounders with the 2 extensions on it. So what I heard, people have joked about these, saying this is Canik's little cousin. So here's the Canik mags. And you can already see the similarity, other than these are longer because these are 18 round mags. So what they said is these don't work in the Canik, but the Caniks work in this. So here's a factory 18 round Canik mag with the +2 straight from Canik. It locks, slide lock on empty, functions just fine. So one thing I was like, man, if I'm going to use this for competition, I need a lot more mags. I need to test this, run some ammo through it, which I haven't done. So maybe I'll do this before I even post the video. So that way we'll know for sure. Or maybe I'll just leave it in the comments. Here's a couple more. These are the Taylor Freelance extensions. Same Canik mags. No slide lock on the Taylor Freelance. But competition, you're rarely shooting off a slide lock. They work though. I'm not going to do it now, but I fed these with live ammo off camera and they cycle just fine. Just no slide lock on these. Let's try maybe if it's the mag. Here's another Taylor Freelance, one of their blem red ones. So that fits just fine. So no slide lock. So I don't know if it's a deal with the mag because that one locked. So it could just be the base pad. And then here's a different one. This is a Wasatch Arms extension. That's a nice black on black look. Kind of like that. Drops just fine. It locks just fine. But these don't lock. All right, so factory, and it could be because it has space to go all the way up. Those lock. Maybe aftermarket extensions will probably work and feed just fine, just no slide lock. But now I don't have to buy any extra mags. I already got about 10 of these. So I will run some ammo through it and see if that's going to work out. But I thought that was pretty awesome. But again, these do not work in the Canik. I tried it. They don't go in. But they Canik ones go into the Q5. All right. So let's go to our range footage and see how accurate she is. And then we'll come back.